this exceptional American idea.
American exceptionalism.
American exceptionalism.
A testimony to American exceptionalism.
American exceptionalism.
The United States is indeed exceptional.
America is exceptional. What makes us exceptional? America is exceptional. Some may disagree, but I believe America is exceptional, in part because we have shown a willingness, through the sacrifice of blood and treasure, to stand up not only for our own narrow self-interest, but for the interests of all.
America is the only nation in the world that is founded on a creed. That creed is clearly set forth in the Declaration of Independence, a timeless statement of inherent rights, the proper purposes of government, and the limits on political authority. Other nations find their identity and cohesion in ethnicity, geography, partisan ideology, or cultural tradition, but America was founded on certain ideas about freedom, human dignity, and social responsibility. The American founders appealed to self-evident truths stemming from the laws of nature and of nature's God to justify their liberty. Born out of revolution, the United States is a country organized around an ideology which includes a set of dogmas about the nature of a good society. The American Revolution drew on old ideas, creating a nation shaped by Judeo-Christian culture and the political liberties inherited from Great Britain. The founding of the United States was revolutionary in the sense of placing political authority in the hands of the people. American exceptionalism is the theory that the United States is qualitatively different from other nation-states. By exceptional, the idea is not that America is superior morally, but that America is unique both historically and politically. America developed ideas of liberty, egalitarianism, individualism, populism, and laissez-faire that set it apart and defined a national identity that no other country has. Of course, no country can claim to be completely unique. America obviously shares many traits with other countries, but no other country is exactly like America either.
Exceptionalism for Americans is the belief that the United States is, in some way, more open, more vigorous, more optimistic than other nations are.
During his travels in 1831, French writer Alexis de Tocqueville observed that America was an exceptional nation with a special role to play in human history.
He saw in the United States a culture arising out of limited government that was unlike anything he had ever seen.
And another word for unique is exceptional.
Whereas revolution led to anarchy in France, the American Revolution produced a unique culture of freedom and opportunity.
America is an exceptional nation, but not because of what it has achieved or accomplished. America is exceptional because, unlike any other nation, it remains dedicated to the principles of human liberty, grounded on the truths that all men are created equal and endowed with equal rights. Ironically, Soviet leader Joseph Stalin was the first to coin the term American exceptionalism in 1929. The American Communist leader J. Lovestone informed Stalin that the American proletariat wasn't interested in revolution. Stalin responded by demanding that he end this heresy of American exceptionalism, and the term stuck. Within a year, the Communist Party USA adopted Stalin's disparaging term. Gloating about the Great Depression, the party declared, "The storm of the economic crisis in the United States blew down the house of cards of American exceptionalism." The Great Depression vindicated the idea that the free market approach was too unruly and unequitable for the nation to trust its invisible hand. Capitalism and democracy were on the decline in much of the world, and the Soviet model appeared to be in the vanguard of history. As the broadly shared income gains of the 50s and 60s began to give way to a widening gap between high and low wage earners in the 1970s, new concerns emerged. Academics and journalists began to warn that the American dream was slipping beyond the grasp of many. In a national affairs essay entitled "The End of American Exceptionalism," sociologist Daniel Bell gave voice to growing skepticism about the concept in the wake of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. He wrote that the belief in American exceptionalism has vanished with the end of empire, the weakening of power, the loss of faith in the nation's future. Intellectuals and theorists argued that society was simply too large and intricate to regulate itself, and subsequently developed the idea that government should be the shaping influence of modern life. The nation's woes called for nothing less than a man who could turn the tide of history and renew the American spirit. But, as the experts put it, there are no easy answers to complex questions.
They say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple.
It is a crisis of confidence.
In California, there is such a man.
Our leaders attempt to blame their failures on circumstances beyond their control. In an attempt to convince us our high standard of living, the result of thrift and hard work, is somehow selfish extravagance. They tell us we must learn to live with less and teach our children that their lives will be less full and prosperous than ours have been. As a part-time rancher myself, I share an appreciation for this system. The chance to own your own land, to work it with the sweat of your brow and take risks.
A sense of seclusion, and I suppose it's the scriptural line that I look to the hills from whence cometh my strength. I understand it a little better when I'm up here.
They tell us that the America of the coming years will be a place where, because of our past excesses, it will be impossible to dream and make those dreams come true. I don't believe that, and I don't believe you do either.